While we're waiting, I can show you the cards that were made live on Sunday evening. I showed how to make a buckle card. It's called a buckle card because of this element right here. Made this with the classic label punch, okay? And I've used Let It Snow Designer Series paper and the Elfie stamp set. So I made 3, okay? I love that on this type of card, you can showcase several patterns of Designer Series paper. And then this is my last guy that I made after the live was over, okay? But they're fun, they're simple, easy, quick to make. All you have to do is watch that video from my Stampin' Piece VIP group, which was aired on Sunday evening, and just follow those instructions in the demonstration and you'll be all set to go to make a fun buckle card. Okay, so you'll want to check that out. Looks like we have 8 people watching. I don't see the trying to see the comments coming up. There we go. Okay, let's see. Pam from North Carolina, Mary Lou, Rolfus, thanks for sharing. Hi Pat, and hi Kathy and Chrissy. So glad to have you all. Again, if you would share, hi Nancy, I would appreciate it very, very much. Tonight, I'm also going to be featuring the same 2 products, the Elfie stamp set, hashtag Elfie I should say, and the Let It Snow Designer Series paper, but show you how to make a different fun fold card, okay? Hi Kathy and Pat again. Nice to have you. I'm so excited because Kathy, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, Venturella, lives very close to me in Westerville. We have the same zip code. She's just minutes away. So I'm excited to get some stamping time in with her at some point. Okay. So this is the gatefold card, and it's called that because of the way we score our paper so that it opens with these 2 gate doors, so to speak. Okay. And I tried to use some of the different, I've got 2 projects to show you tonight, and my focus was on to use the 2 elf stamps that we did not use on Sunday. Okay. So here's your basic gatefold card. Okay, I'm going to make one with you now, and we are going to make it a bit different. We're going to jazz it up a little bit, add some more layers and some more elements to it, supplies to it, okay? But this is a very basic gatefold card, okay? So you're going to start with the standard size piece of cardstock for a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. The difference comes in how you score it. So this is 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches, okay? Same as you would normally cut. The difference comes in the scoring. We're going to score at 2 1/8 of an inch on each end, okay? By the way, I am living the new Stampin' trimmer. I've been really, really happy with it. Okay. You're also going to need a card insert for stamping or writing on the inside. That's 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Okay. You are going to need, now in the first card, this is where one difference comes into play. The Designer Series paper on each gate is 5 1/4 inches by 1 7/8. On the second card, I'm going to use the 5 1/4 inch 1 7/8 whisper white, and then I've cut 2 pieces of designer series paper. You'll need 2 of each of those white ones because we have 2 gate doors. Okay. Hi, Lisa and Melissa, Mary Lou and Joyce. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you all are here. Click share. I want to see how many people we can get on tonight. I think my record is 22. Okay. But this piece of design, so this piece of Whisper White is taking the place of this piece of DSP on my first card. And then I just cut one a little bit smaller. So this measures 5 inches by 1 3/4. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the basic card layout set. Okay, I'm just going to use these for the front 2 flaps of the gatefold card. Oh, look at all those hearts. That makes me so happy. This was kind of a bummer of a day too. I did go to work yesterday morning, even though I shouldn't have, but I didn't want to, it was too early for me to call off with visiting angels and for them to get somebody for the early morning shift. But I did have to go to the doctor for some very awful back pain, and they think it's just muscle spasms that have been compressing on nerves, which has caused such extreme pain, and some tingling in my leg and stuff. But so I stayed home from my visiting angels job today, which I'm used to seeing people a lot, so it gets a little lonely here. But I worked, I rested, I worked, I rested, I worked, I rested. Just small little jaunts of work like that to keep me busy. I get bored easily. And then my sister came over and spent some time with me, and she brought me homemade chicken noodle soup. How nice that is to live close to her and for us to be able to pop in on each other, and I sure appreciate her doing that. Andrea's checked on me today, and the pain is much less, but I'll be doing the stretching and physical therapy and stuff, and hopefully it won't be too long before I'm feeling back to normal. And I am going back to work tomorrow, so I'm glad about that. Okay, so there's the basics of my gatefold, okay? And you can see right from the beginning how I changed it up a little bit, okay? I went from the DSP on the card base directly to putting DSP on a Whisper White background and then onto the card base, okay? Oh, ladies, feeling the love. Thank you so much. Yes, aren't these fun colors together, Pam? And I always think very traditionally when it comes to Christmas. So I really appreciate this color combination because I think it's very appealing, and it is somewhat out of the box for me, and I'm really enjoying using it. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on the inside of the card. It says, "May your Christmas be merry and full of delight." I want to pull out my Stampin' pad. "With a new year that's happy and healthy and bright." Okay. I don't know if you caught that on my first card. Okay. And I also used another little stamp that we did not use on Sunday. I'm glad you like the white. I love it this way, but this is just one more way we can step up our cards by adding another layer. Okay. All right, now here's where we're going to be doing something different, okay? A couple of things. First of all, I cut, oh, these are a little long, I would say. I've got 3/4 inch strips here, 2 3/4 of an inch strip. And I want to cut these down to 4 inches. And I'm going to dress up the inside of my gatefold card with these. Okay. Something simple you can do to dress your cards up a little bit or take them to the next level. And you're also using scraps of DSP. I'm going to put 1 on the bottom and then 1 on the top. And you can see it still leaves me plenty of room to address the card and sign it, or in a quick message as well. Okay. Before we go to this step, what I did here was I adhered the 2 layers together, and then I put adhesive only on the left side so that it only adhered to the left gate door. Okay. I'm not going to adhere these to either. I haven't colored this one, but I am going to go ahead and adhere it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to set that aside for just a moment. And my ink, so I don't get my arm in it, or my cards. Okay, so I have a 1 inch by 11 inch strip of Coastal Cabana cardstock. Okay, it doesn't matter what color it is, you just want something that coordinates with whatever you're doing. Okay, then I cut a 3/4 inch strip of Let It Snow Designer Series paper, and it is just because I cut straight across, it is 12 inches in length, so I'm just going to snip off that end after I adhere this. And we're going to use this strip as a belly band. We're going to make a belly band closure around the card base. Okay. I'm going to suggest, instead of telling you, oh, cut it and put it together and then put it on your card, I'm going to suggest that you actually wrap it around your card. Okay. And I have, pretty much have the layers I'm going to put in there. I'll straighten this one out a little bit. This fold is a little awkward. Okay. Not sure what I did. Okay. The other thing I want to tell you about this, when you are adhering and you do want it to overlap some, now that's overlapping, probably about 2 inches. I don't need it to overlap that much, okay? 1/2 inch to 1 inch is probably plenty. You do want to just adhere it to itself. You do not want to adhere it to your card in any way. You're going to want this belly band to slide off, okay? The other thing is, I want the overlap to be hidden by this piece I put on, okay? And let me show you what I mean by that. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I'm thinking, why have an overlap showing somewhere over here when it can be hidden? Okay, that's what I mean. So I'm just going to lay this down like this. And you can kind of crease it as you go along with your bone folder or just pressing it down. I am going to cut this a little bit shorter. And then I'm going to be folding this one over. And you can see I've got it overlapping here. And it will be hidden between, or by the top layer, okay? Again, I'm just going to trim it off a little bit. I don't want it sticking out, okay? So now I'm ready to put adhesive on each layer of the belly band. And remember, I suggest that you make the belly band while you have it around the card base, okay? Because then it gives you a better estimate of how tight or how loose you need it. You just need it loose enough that it'll slide off, but you don't want it sliding off on its own. You want it to be able to have the recipient slide it off, okay? And then now, oh, look what I did. I got ink on that, darn it. I'll have to put something there, won't I? Okay, so now let me color this, and what we're going to do is just attach the belly band, or the finished layers, right to the belly band, okay? Let me go ahead and color that a little bit right now. And hang on, because I will be showing you other ways we're going to dress up the original card. And I've got a second fun project for you. Hope you all have had a good day. The weather's going to be changing quite a bit. I know some parts of the country are already getting snow. Ohio will be in the 40s this weekend. Andrea and I are supposed to be running a 5K on Saturday morning. I'm not sure if I have to just wait and see if I'll be up to it. If not, I'll just go and walk, and that's fine. Okay. Use some Coastal Cabana on here as well. What a combination of colors. There is no way I would have thought of this combination on my own. Okay, I want this for the bell, and I'm also going to use this for the top of the, I'm going to call it the North Pole. Okay, and then, and I know what you guys are going to say when I do this, so just wait till I'm finished. Whoops. And when you say it, I'll just say, oh, well, you're right. That's true. That's me. Does anybody know where I'm going with this? How many of you have made any Christmas cards yet? Thumbs up if you've made some Christmas cards. Okay. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, that's Ohio State colors. Well, you're right. It is. And I love it. I decided I'm also going to do the elf's brim and fur in the Coastal Cabana, just because I can. Okay, and let's give this guy some hair. I'm going to use a couple strokes of dark soft suede. And then I'm going to blend in some light crumb cake. I'd also pull in some dark crumb cake as well. Yeah. He's looking handsome. Oh, do any of you do Elf on the Shelf? Oh, I think that's good. A good thought, Pam. Okay, so I have that done. Another step up for right here is stamp the signage on a piece of different cardstock. I'm embarrassed to say I've made Halloween cards, but I'm embarrassed to say I haven't even gotten them in the mail. That was going to happen yesterday, and it didn't. but I do have Thanksgiving cards completed, with the exception of I have to stamp and punch the sentiment. And I also know what I want to make for my Christmas card, but I haven't started them. Okay, and I'm going to pop up this sign with some dimensionals, okay? See how something, so it's kind of like the paper piecing that we showed on, which one of these? So it's like the paper piecing where we did the toe and the heel of the stocking and the elf's hat, okay? Stamp that on a separate piece, color it and cut it out, okay? But this I didn't even color, I just stamped it on the Coastal Cabana cardstock, okay? Oh, I know what we have to do. His little face. He looks too pasty. Not well. So I'm going to use Petal Pink ink and a sponge dauber, and just lightly, if I can, stamp his, or daub his face and ears. Can you see that pretty good? Okay. The other thing I'm going to do, which I didn't show you this the other day, but I really like, you know, when we stamp and color on white, it just seems to pop out at you, be there, right? We can add a little bit more dimension by taking a very light color of marker, or I think it's easiest with the Stampin' blends, and just think of it as like where you might see a shadow if the sun were coming in this direction. Okay, I would see the shadows on the right and bottom sides of things. So I'm using the light Pool Party Stampin' blends to do that. And I'm just creating a little shadow, okay? See how that is? Let me hold it up a little closer. Sharon Van Winkle, thanks for joining us. Okay. I also pre-stamped this sentiment, and I'm going to punch it out with the classic label punch. Okay. So I'm going to first adhere the layers, the stamped layers, to my belly band, okay? Only the belly band. So I'm going to advise you, instead of putting your adhesive on the center here, which is what you would want, it's just easier to put it on your belly band directly. I saw this DSP pop up a little bit. Let me put some more adhesive underneath. Okay, I'm going to just kind of center this where I want it. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to press it down. Okay, and now I've got this darling belly band that will come off and open up to a beautiful card. Okay, those belly bands are so fun. Joyce, thank you for that compliment. Kathy, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying these. Okay, shall we pump it up or pop it up a little bit more, make it a little bit more special? Okay, there's a couple things we can do. I've got red rhinestones that we can add. I've got pearls that we can add, although I think these are a little formal for Elfie, so not my first choice. And then I have the basic pearls, which we can use as is, or we can even color them a bit. So this is the dark Pool Party, and it's just a very, very subtle bit of color on there. And I think that would be neat to have on some of these snowflakes. So I'm just going to color a few like that. Oops, that one's dancing around. And then I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm just going to place them randomly on some of these snowflakes on the Designer Series paper. Okay. You can do as many or as few as you'd like. Okay. There's 5. How about if we do 7? 6. And where should the other one go? How about right here? Okay. All right, I'm going to add my sign as well. And I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. This too would be a great place to add any rhinestones. Kathy, this tool is amazing. I'll talk to you in a moment more about what it does. It's an amazing tool. And I'm going to pop that up right there. Okay. And you can see even with the rhinestones, it still slides on and off quite easily. Just want to be careful when you're putting that belly band back on, because you don't want to do it so quick that it crushes your corners of your card. Okay, so that is the gatefold card. Lost my train of thought. Okay, so that's another version of my gatefold card. Okay, and one more thing we could do if we wanted to dress up these a little bit is I have the 4 every season's itty bitty punches. Okay, every season bitty bitty punch pack. Okay, you get 4 of them: a bat, a heart, a snowflake, and a leaf. Okay, I'm going to use this snowflake on some of our Dazzling Diamonds glitter paper. Okay, and you could easily add these to your cards. Okay, I think I need one right here because somehow I got ink on that. And I put these on with glue dots. Okay, just adds a little more shimmer and sparkle. So you can see that both cards really look very nice together, but you can also see that there are enough different elements to each of them. Okay. All right, so, you know, some of you may prefer the, a more simple, fewer layers, fewer steps version of the gatefold card. And some of you might like to add a few of the other embellishments to make it more blingy, we'll say. Okay, but that does have more steps. But you don't necessarily need to use all of the things I've shown you either to dress up your card. You know, I could have stuck with this, not done a belly band, but added some rhinestones. Okay, that would be very pretty. Okay, I did add a little stamped embellishment here. Okay. Any questions about the gatefold card? Okay, I'll quickly review the dimensions for you. You're using 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and you're scoring it 2 1/8 on each end. That gives you the 2 gate doors. Okay, those two folds. All right. Your card insert, if you're using a dark base, is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. That's pretty standard. Your first layer, if you're only doing one layer, it's 5 1/4 by 1 7/8 inches, and you need 2 pieces of that. Okay. With this, I simply measured, you know, if you're going to make it the same way, fine. I can tell you those measurements. If I see it here, let's see. Okay, so these measurements are 4 inches by 2 for the white and 4 1/4 by 2 1/4 for the real red. But this size, this piece would be dependent on whatever you're stamping. Obviously, if you'd be stamping this, it's too big, okay? Or if you were stamping this, you might decide you want it just a little shorter and a little wider. It's personal preference. And obviously, if you do it with other stamp sets, you'll want to take a look at that. And what I typically do is to figure out what size I want to make. I just typically lay the stamp how I'd want it. Now, you don't want to turn it sideways. You want it to be laying on your grid or your grid paper the same way you want it laying on your card. And then I can look here. I'm not sure if you guys can see the bottom of this. Okay. I can look here and see that 2 inches wide by 4 inches high gives me a nice, let me do it here because I'm not sure if you're seeing it. So you can see right here, okay, 2 inches wide looks good if I go up, okay? And for it to be about 4 inches, okay? So that's how I determine what size I'm going to use for my stamped images. Alrighty? Any more questions about the gatefold? And obviously, if you want a second layer or if you want cardstock underneath, your first layer, the cardstock layer on your gate, is going to be the 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. The next size down with a small border is 5 1/8 by, just think about this, 1 3/4 or 1 6/8. Okay, but you could also go down by 1/4 inch, which would make that top layer 5 inches by 1 5/8. Okay, it you know, personal preference if you want the skinny border like this or a little bit larger border. Excuse me. Okay, I have one more. Thank you. I'm glad you like those cards. I have one more project to show you featuring the Let It Snow Designer Series paper and the hashtag Elfie stamp set. And that is this darling gift tag. Okay, and I did it on a Whisper White base so that it can be written on, you know, your to from or a fun message, something like that. So let me show you how I made this quickly and easily. I am starting with a piece that measures 2 inches by 5 inches, okay? 2 by 5, alrighty? And then, this is another great way to use up scraps, okay? And then I pulled out some scraps of Designer Series paper I had and began playing with those a little bit. Okay, you just need 5. And these are 1 inch strips, okay? They're going to end up being 1 by 2, but it's a little bit of time saver if you pull your scraps, cut some 1 inch strips. Some scraps will be bigger than others, but you cut those scraps to 1 inch strips. You're going to, and I did 3, 1 towards the left and right side, and then 1 strip of adhesive down the center, okay? And what I did was I'm going to put this on top of my Stampin' Pierce mat so you can see it a little bit better. And you do want to be mindful of, you know, where you're putting the different strips. You know, if you want to rearrange them, you can. I like that I've spaced out the snowflakes and spaced out the reds rather than have them next to each other, but maybe that's your personal preference. You would like them together. And then I just start at the bottom for whatever reason. I don't know, but it works out well. And I'm just going to line up this strip with the left side and the bottom. The next strip, I'm lining up with the side and the top of the first strip. So obviously you want a good cutter that will cut nice straight lines for you, okay? And you continue to do that until you have put all 5 strips on the Whisper White cardstock, okay? Now at this point, you can use your paper snips and trim right along, or you can, yes, Kathy, it is a great way to use up scraps. I'm all for that. And honestly, I've been using so much of this paper and I'm thinking, oh Lord, but I use some, and the more you use it, the more scraps you have. So you want to use that all up. You don't want all that nice paper going to waste. So what I'm doing to cut off these ends, I just flipped it over and put the white edge at the 2-inch mark, and I'm just cutting those off, okay? So it was a little bit quicker and easier for me than to cut all kinds of little pieces and then put them on. And you know me, I'm all about a little shortcut as long as it still gives me a nice, clean, professional looking finish, okay? Now, I'm going to use the Delightful Tag Topper Punch, okay? And I'm going to insert this all the way, and it will easily cut through both that Designer Series paper and the Whisper White cardstock. So I now have that, okay? I then stamped and cut out a no peeking elf, okay? I'm going to use the Petal Pink ink and sponge dauber on his face and hands. Just a wee bit there. Ooh, he's looking a little orange. He's looking a little, oh, what's the word? I can't think of it. Sometimes babies have it when they're born and you put them in the light. What's the word I'm looking for? But anyways, that was a little dark. But that's okay. He took a vacation to a tropical island after the last Christmas season. I'm going to color his coat, the sleeves. Okay, I'm going to use my Wink of Stella for the ball of his hat and for the brim of the hat, and also his collar and cuffs. Jaundice, thank you. Ah, it was driving me nuts. Sometimes I think our brains just get too full of information that things we should know just do not pop into our heads like we want them to. Okay, so here's this cute little guy. I'm going to pop him up on dimensionals and put him in the center of the gift tag. You can use this on a wrapped package. You could use it, put it directly on, and my first one I put right in the center, okay? You can put it wherever you like, okay? I just kind of like it that way in the center. All right. Now I'm adding the string to the top. This is real red curly ribbon, okay? Real red curly ribbon, and let me tell you, it is soft, super soft, okay? Oops. Let me show you what I like to do for tags. I like to take, and I'm using a 9-inch piece. I like to take a length, fold it in half, feed it through the front to the back, and then pull both ends through that loop. Okay. And this way I'm not putting a knot here until I'm ready to hang it on the bag or the gift package, whatever. Okay, so there's that. We can dress this up a little bit with, you know, I think I'm going to use just the basic glue dots, not glue dots, rhinestones. Okay. Ooh, maybe that would be cute on his hat. Should I put one on his hat, or do you like it just, of course I could do one on each, I guess. So tonight you had demonstrations on how to make a buckle card and also how to make a quick tag using, yes on the hat, Joyce, there you go, using your scraps, okay? Alrighty, I suppose you're wanting a giveaway, okay? I'm going to give away this gatefold card, and I would like you to type in the comments. No, you know what? We're not going to do that. Everybody who has commented will be entered into the drawing based on all of the comments you made. Okay? If you said, hi, cute card, love that, good night, whatever. If you did 5 comments, your name goes in 5 times. I'll be using commentpicker.com to get the winner of this gatefold card. The fancied up gatefold card, okay? All right, ladies, any questions? Okay, because I was off work yesterday afternoon, and I had originally taken on morning shift for this Thursday, my Monday afternoon is being moved to Thursday afternoon, so I will be working with Visiting Angels all day on Thursday, so I will not be able to do a 2 o'clock Facebook Live. And then in the evening is trick or treat. So I will not be doing a Facebook Live at all this Thursday. You can look for me at 7 p.m. on Sunday. 7 p.m. on Sunday will be my next one, okay? And I will announce it that day, okay? If you came in late, I'm sorry you missed it, but I'm happy to be able to remind you that you can always go back and look at the video once I turn off and I click share. It will be on this page permanently, okay? And I'm not sure what I've got a couple ideas for the next Facebook Live. And I was looking through stamp sets from the holiday catalog that I have not used yet. And fortunately, I've used most of them that I've purchased or earned, so I'm happy about that. One of them is Snowfront, and other is the Free Skate bundle, okay, which I have not opened yet. In fact, I just got this one, okay. Anybody up for or have a preference which one? I'll probably be using both of them eventually, okay. I like that this one you can use throughout the year too. Okay, you don't have to have it be a snow scene, okay? And the skate was just kind of fun and classic to me. All right. Pat, you're the first to say free skate, so that's what I'll do on Sunday night. Okay, I'll come up with a good project or two to share with you.